Okay, so I figure that most of you out there know what safe mode is, just like safe mode on any PC, right? So that the whole system doesn't crash and you lose it all, right? Like the original Divine Blueprint. That's essentially what it is. So when we activate, because we have override authority, right? And the reset hits, there's nothing they can do. Okay? That's called override authority on behalf of the One. That's Gaia Sophia Ascending. Okay, so that means that they know once the resets hit, people are going to start waking up. And when people start waking up, oh man, now you know what the invisible landscape is, which means it's not what they look like. So an invisible landscape, because it's not what you see that's going to kill you. It's what you don't see because of the tech that they have, evidenced by what happened over on Maui. Right? So I just posted a number of comments on SG, Anon with 107, because Maui, what happened at Maui is on everybody's mind. What's going on here, right? And so this is how bad it is, okay? You have a guy who says in a military uniform, right? I don't even know if he really works for the U.S. military. He could pull a costume, because that's what they do, okay? You know what a masquerade ball is? I'm going to pull a military uniform out there and go on a podium that says that I work for the U.S. military and I'm a JAG, right? When he can actually be somebody who does, he could be, for all we know, a shoemaker. But they're going to use him as a puppet to put him up on the podium. That's the invisible landscape. That's what's called the war of deception. It's not what you look like. Just because I see somebody on the podium, that doesn't mean who he really is. You know what a masquerader is, right? Okay. Now, in difference to that, it very well could be he's a white hat. You know what a white hat is, right? My question is whether the being even has a soul left, right? And has a connection to Mother Earth, right? In which he honors the highest code, which is the highest superconductor, which is the code of one. The highest code is what love is, which is what the law is, which is the law of spirit, which is the law of balance. That's called one-ment. You're experiencing being one with all creation. We're gifting love to. So when reset hits and people start waking up, that means more people are going to start healing at an accelerated rate of speed because the electrical density, the speed of the atoms are going up. That means their consciousness is rising. That's a Christic spiral. That's a Christic founder races. Okay, that's what happens when reset takes place. So, you know, it's like chickens running around with their head cuts off. Now it becomes a war over mass media programming. The programmers, right? Oh, we don't want to lose them. So now you get into a war over information. What's true, what's not true, right? And how do you know? See, if you weren't over there at Lahaina and actually experienced it directly with your own holographic eyeball cameras, right? Then how do you know what any of that happened? Who the perpetrators are, right? So here you have, for example, this morning with the county of Maui that was putting on a presentation with all these other characters, which are those folks that are playing role on a stage, which is stagecraft. Shakespeare, remember? The director of the play. And so you have a guy whose name is Kenneth Hara, who's a JAG. He said he's the incident on-scene commander of what's going on. And yet out of that same group, you have a guy who actually ran the cover-up in what happened in Las Vegas with that mass shooting. So this doesn't make sense, does it? How come this guy, if he's the on-scene commander, doesn't have the guy who's a police chief in custody for having been a participant in a mass murder? See what I'm saying? So it's like, come clean. Because these folks don't know how to come clean. Because they've been ordered, they're order followers, to do what? A microphone that is playing a script. They're following the script, which is the choreography. Okay, which is the movie that we're in. So it becomes a complete insult. Okay? And it's one of the reasons why it's like when you get into security, you know, it's particularly in an AI battlefield environment, and why it is the war of deception. Because you don't want to get others compromised. So we do things. It's much like what Michael Jaco, a former Navy SEAL, talked about. He knows the difference between what's right and what's wrong. So when there's others around that he knows that they're demons following the orders that he's supposed to follow, he'll make them think, because they can observe what he is, that he's going along with those orders, right? Even though when he's in a position to make his own decisions on behalf of what love is, will make a different decision. But since they're not aware of what he's doing, they can't prosecute him or pull his rank or put him in the brig. Much in the same way that I described when I had another guy who was my boss on an engine, that if we would have followed what he wanted to do, we would have lost that home, and a number of people would have been traumatized. See the war we're in? That's why it's a war of deception, which is an information war, which is the invisible landscape. Right? That's why all the work that we did was completed. But it's always an ongoing process by evidence of what we're still experiencing that's happening, that we become aware of. So now we got to transmute it. Pull the fragments in. That's what I do. So more and more beings experience being one with all creation, experiencing being loved by the first true eternal God. Guys, Sophia Ascending. Have a great day. We love you all. Be good to yourselves. I did ask a question. I'll be curious to see if Juan O'Savin asked it. I said, what do you know about this guy named Major General Kenneth Hanna? Hara, H-A-R-A. Hara, right? Hara. Hara, right? There's no coincidence in that last name either. Huh? Yeah. Hoo-yah. Have a great day.